How do songs typically start for In the Woods?
Well, it's like we're not very good at sitting together and writing stuff. So usually, you get a full like a finished frame, so to speak, and we listen to it when we're at rehearsals, and we talk about it, and we agree on arrangements, and then we start with recording drums, and then we just sprinkle with rhythms and keyboards and leads and everything that we do. We trust each other when we record everything, so we we trust that the others will do their parts in the best possible way. So that's kind of the process. It's not very sit in the same room for hours after hours, except for when we're recording.
Right. Do a couple of the members handle most of the songwriting and arrangements?
All the songwriting goes like, especially on the last album, it was just the basic structures was basically Bernt Sørensen, the other guitar player. He's such a brilliant songwriter, and he's just pumping out songs. It's ridiculous. So, but arrangements and melodies and everything, that's something we're fairly good at. Everyone, they're like, yeah, what goes there, what comes here, how do we do this, how do we do that. I feel we're very very good at it now. I know, like we're already in the making of the next album, and that's something completely different because we are all writing songs.
How complete are the songs that he sends you? Does he have the arrangements demoed out and you guys contribute your own parts to it?
Yeah, I get a
Or does he just come up with riffs
you get the
and you guys figure out how to?
no, he has the riffs and he has them in a certain way. And you sit down and like you open your DAW program and you put it in there and you listen to it and you cut and paste and you move a chorus, or like you make that twice as long, stuff like that. And then we make a structure with guitars, and we take away the program drums and record real drums over it, and we go from there.
Okay, so you guys start working from his original guitar demos.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
that's mostly that. Yeah,
cool.
it's very interesting because you get a scratch idea, and when you when you finish, it's something completely different.
On this latest album, which song would you say changed the most from the demos to the recorded version that we hear on the album?
Everyone. No, the whole album came out much different than we had on in our heads because of the that James Forte left the band. So he does vocals a very different way than Bernt Fjellestad does. So the album came out way more catchier, if I can so speak, and more melodies, and it was we were so surprised, especially when we sat down and heard it like the first time with all the songs with all the vocals. It was like, this is so different from what we thought it was, what we thought it was gonna sound like. So like it's just one man, but he changed it a lot.
Yeah. So Diversum is the name of the latest In the Woods album, and it came out on the 25th of November of last year, 2022, through Soul Cellar Records. When did you guys actually begin work on this album?
I think we recorded the first drums in December. No, where January or February 2020. That's when like we started, and we were getting into it, and we couldn't visit each other for a long time, so that kind of stopped. But then we took it up that summer because restriction was lifted in Norway, and then we just kept going whenever it was possible. But early 2020 we started.
And as you mentioned, this will be the first album with Bernd Fjellstad. Is that is that close to his
Yeah,
name?
that's the
You're gonna have to say it. You're gonna have to tell me how.
Bernd Fjellstad.
Fjellstad?
Fjellstad.
Is that
Yeah, it's
correct?
perfect.
Fjellstad. This will be his first album as the vocalist for In the Woods. How did he get involved with this?
Well, we had our differences with the former singer James, so he didn't want to participate in songwriting, and I think he was kind of fed up by the distance. From it's a long way from here to Brighton in England, so yeah, he decided it was not worth it, and we went to on talk on Messenger on video calls, and like, what the fuck do we do now? We had 8 songs, but now we have 5 because he quit, so he took some of his songs with him. That wasn't really the problem. We were like, what do we do with these 5 songs? So we started writing more. We wrote 3 more songs, and we were looking for singers. And Bernd Fjellstad has been a friend of everyone in the band except myself for the last 25 years. So when he came in, I met him the first time, and we had a chat, and I think later that week he delivered a demo, and there was no reason to do anything else because it sounded so good.
So, I need to clarify something. When you said that you guys were working on the album during the COVID restrictions, does that mean most of the album was? Does that mean you guys were working on the album remotely? Were you coming up with your parts individually on your own?
No, because we got together when the restriction was lifted. There were times when it was bad in Europe and they lifted restrictions in Norway so we could visit people. So we took those chances, but like one person at a time, just going there and doing our parts and going home and doing it the same the next day.
I see. I see. Okay. And where did you guys actually record your parts?
We recorded it in Bernd Sørensen's studio. He has a studio in his house.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. And did Anders record his drum parts there as well?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, cool. When were you guys actually finished with the songwriting? And then after that, when were you finished with the recording?
We spent all Easter with vocals. So like we were done in maybe. I think we delivered the songs to mixing in either June or July. So it was we were finished in May with recordings. So it was fairly quick.
Okay. When were the songwriting sessions finished?
Sometime in May, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure when the last pieces were stitched together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were songs still changing throughout the recording process?
No, it was more about what we should, to fill up some emptiness. You fill up some ambience, some more keyboards, some more guitars, some more different melodies, doubling, all these little things you do to, make sure that it doesn't sound dull or boring type of thing.
So, as you mentioned, In the Woods changes from album to album. How would you compare Diversum to the previous In the Woods albums? What would you say makes this one unique? Or what is the character of this album compared to the rest of them?
I think this is an album which is very different because of, number one, we're a group of friends. There's no dispute. There's no bad feelings about anything. We trust each other 100%. So it makes the process much, much easier to do. And, then the music sort of comes naturally. And there's no, don't do that. You suck. Don't do it. Fuck, type of things, right? So like, and, it's probably like the first In the Woods album that every part you hear on that record is going to be played exactly the same way live by the same person, which is very cool. We trying to, we want to show the band as it is, instead of having, for example, a singer that sings, play keyboards, and play bass, and want to play guitar as well. So now we're more like a true image of what we really are.
Okay, I gotcha. You also mentioned that this is a catchy album, or the album ended up being catchier than what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely. Not in a negative way at all. Like Bernd Fjellstad he's such a talented musician, and the way he creates melodies is just amazing. And that's what surprised me the most, because he has a total different approach when it comes to creating his lines and melodies than, for example, the young Kenneth had or James had. So that turned the album to be so much better, I think.